Snagajob.com offers some tips on how to prepare. Snagajob.com, SNAGA job.com. Know what you're getting into. It's important to have realistic expectations. Talk with a school guidance counselor and your school career center about resume writing and interview skills. Parents can provide valuable insight into the reality of the working world, or any adult can. Be prepared. Learn everything you can about the job search process. The internet is a treasure trove of information on job hunting interviews and labor laws for teens. Spread the word. Many jobs come through referrals from your neighbors, people you know, so it's important to let everyone know you're looking for a job. Work for the experience. Sometimes a job might not be exactly what you're looking for, but it puts you in contact with people or organizations that might help you in the future. And don't forget to volunteer. That is always helpful for the experience. Don't limit yourself to a dream job or your first job that comes along. Start with your interests and consider all the possibilities. You need to present yourself well. Make sure you actually bring a pen to fill out the application. Dress neatly, not necessarily fancy, but neatly. Have prepared responses ready for questions they'll be asking. Things like, why do you want to work here? What makes you different than anyone else? Why should I hire you? Think ahead of time about what you'll say about yourself. You should provide some kind of evidence to show that you have been a responsible person. Maybe you led a youth group for church, collected money for disaster relief, or helped out a business with holiday decorations. How have you helped your school, or what community service clubs are you in? Here is what to learn from your first job. You will learn teamwork, people skills, attention to detail, and time management. Those are all important things that we need during our lives. There's also a great YouTube on job interview checklist. Just do a search on YouTube. It is from the group From Grad to Corp. That's short from graduation to corporation. From Grad to Corp. Big jobs usually go to the men. And, here's a couple of quotes. Ralph Waldo Emerson, big jobs usually go to the men who prove their ability to outgrow the small jobs. From Brian Tracy, never say anything about yourselves that you do not want to come true. Choose a job you love and you will never have to work a day in your life. Confucius. And the one that we all have to work on, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Maya Angelou. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Walker.
I just have a couple of comments in reference to our tonight, specifically the strategic plan, the poll process. I was able to actually go down to Austin, Texas with the team last spring when we began this whole process, and actually they had already begun before I'd even come on that team for Austin. So Beth Curtis and Rhea MacGyver Gibbs, as well as Dr. Avila, and be able to be there for a few days to actually learn about how long this process was going to take, the intricacies of it, and how important it really was. And we were actually in the training with several other school districts and universities who are at different stages in the strategic planning process. So it kind of gave us a real snapshot about what this actually looks like and what it could possibly be. I want to make sure that the comment is made that because even though we were new in the game, we are just starting, what we're doing right now, the attitude, the response from you all that we've had in this process was significantly greater than even some of the entities that were there that have been doing strategic planning already for almost a year. And I just want to say it's because of the people that we're working with. So hats off to, again, all of the stakeholders, everybody in our district, our community that has parents, everybody that's worked on it, because it's a big job, and it's a risk. People are fearful because they think if we change and we have a new identity, does that identity include me, right? And so you just think about it. The new identity may have the next election cycle, and like it didn't include Dina. Who knows? but I plan to be adjunct with Rialto. We're going to do this, you know. But just to really understand that this is a big job, and we have taken it on courageously, and thank you for everybody who's doing that. I see the future, and it's bright, and I appreciate all the work that you all are doing, especially for you two, because I know even when we went to bed, you guys were still working on the computers, doing work on behalf of the team to move it forward and bring it back here to our district. So that was one piece. And the other thing is just to comment on Abigail's success. And it just really, right, I'm like, girl power, right, yeah. No disrespect to men. But just because in the STEM field, girls are often underrepresented, overwhelmingly underrepresented, especially as the higher and the higher the grades go. And so for her to be in a high school and then be able to participate in a program, thanks to the support she had from the district here, and then to get this recognition is significant. Yes. And what was really significant, of me just hearing her story, the very few minutes that she was here, and she talked about the fact that she was an actress, right? And then she talked about the fact that she'd go on to possibly go into politics, right? So here are already 3 different fields that this young woman has been able to expose herself and really think about what could be her future. And she's one of our students. And just to say that we have not limited our students, there are so many things that they can do with all of the talents that they have, that we're not pigeonholing people, but we're giving them opportunities to explore everything. So that brings me back to the strategic plan, because in our objectives, the objectives say every student excels at the highest level throughout his or her career at Rialto Unified School District. Every student will be a responsible citizen who contributes to a global society. She talked about that. Every student will achieve success in his or her own chosen life endeavors. All these things, she's like, I'm going to do that, right? And she's successful. And every student will graduate with a personal pathway for success. We've already given her some opportunities to be successful, and she knows that she can accomplish what she wants to do. So again, hats off to Rialto Unified, to Abigail for her success and her family. And again, we're doing a good job here. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for coming tonight, or watching tonight, as the case may be. Just to recap a few things, I am extremely excited about an agenda item we have, the Footsteps to Brilliance program. I went to the presentation that was held a month or so ago, and was really impressed with the presentation and the ideas behind it, and how this might actually give our kids an early start on reading, which makes all the difference in every subject area. It all starts with reading. Excellent. And so I'm really excited about this program. I also want to thank, Jasmine Valenzuela for bringing this to the district. And I know you went and researched it in another district that's using it, and they were raving about it. They've been having great success with it. So Jasmine brought the idea here to Rialto, and it's off and running almost. I serve on I'm serving on the boundary committee to realign the school's boundaries. And we had a meeting yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, I can't remember.
Yesterday.
I had to laugh because at one point you just sit there and you're looking at all the scenarios, and I said, this is the same feeling I had when trying to solve the Rubik's Cube. You know, there's so many factors to consider and so many things. You think you've got one that's going to be perfect, and then, oh, no, that's not going to work because of this. And anyway, but it's a lot of fun, and we'll come up with some good plans there also. I want to congratulate Abigail Quaylar again. Very impressive at her age to be published in a scientific journal. I mean, I just think that's wonderful. And I also want to thank Juanita Chan, who was the mediation between her and UC Riverside, I guess, who got this opportunity in place for her. So thank you both. Thank you, Juanita, and congratulations to Abigail. And I just want to remind everybody to come to the Parent Summit on October 15th at Carter High School, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. We hope to see you there. And with that, I think it's time to move on with the agenda. Okay, we have public hearing, there is none. Consent calendar items, all items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by the Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Do I have a motion to approve consent calendar items reference E through J?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
And I have a preferential vote by by Juwan.
What hold?
Oh,
He left at 9 to do his homework.
He
okay.
had to leave early today.
He slipped out and I didn't see him. Okay. All right, so is there any discussion on any of these items? No polls? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that takes us to K, discussion action items. And there is, the first item is approve a 5-year agreement with Footsteps to Brilliance Incorporated to increase family and community engagement and level the literacy playing field for all early learners with an innovative technology solution to put high-quality, research-based early learning curriculum in all classrooms, homes, and community centers throughout the district zip code's jurisdiction, and to approve the amendment to the local education agency LEA plan. Reading page 30 and 33, comma, parent involvement, page 38, 6B, to reflect the inclusion and cost for Footsteps to Brilliance out of Title I funds. The cost of the program is $914,986, which will be financed through Government Capital Corporation with a 3-year term lease purchase agreement with the adoption of Resolution 16-17-15. The cost of financing at an interest rate of 2.15% plus other financing charges amounts to $60,874.19. Therefore, the total cost of the program with financing is not to exceed $975,860.19 to be paid from Title I funds. Do I have a motion to approve this item?
With pleasure. Make the
Do,
motion.
do I have a second?
Second?
Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yeah. So just a question on, the term of the agreement, was there, and I don't know who's gonna be able to answer that question.
Mr.
seven-
Spencer's still here too, and
Yeah.
Dr. Avila.
But from our
Jasmine.
district staff, about the term of the agreement, as a 5-year agreement versus maybe a 3-year agreement, or what was, how did we come to the 5 years, being that this is our first time using the project?
Mohammed.
Thank you. The agreement, as the lease is for 3 years, but the system will be available for 5 years.
Okay.
So we took the 3 years options because our fiscal solvency, when we present to the state, we always call 3 years plan.
Right.
So we don't want to go 5 years plan because Title I fund. So our commitment from Title I for 3 years, understand program is available 5 years. So we're going to pay 3 years, use over 5
Okay,
years.
so that was my question. Are we paying for we're actually not. We're paying
No,
a
paying
3-year.
3 years.
And then
Use for 5
availability
years.
for 5 years. So
That's
that was my
correct.
question, because 3 years, more than 3 years really is not
That's correct.
sound to do.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Thank
That's
you.
the reason
Okay.
we choose
All
to.
right.
And
Thank you.
part
That
of
was
it
my
also
question.
has to do, Mr. Spencer, if you can explain the other component of it, that supplements the $5 million cost of the entire program.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Avila. So to add further clarification, so the agreement is for 3 years that the district would pay for and invest in to serve your pre-K through 3rd grade students. Footsteps to Brilliance is part of that $5 million grant. We will cover the cost of year 4 and 5. In addition to that, from day one, every resident of your community will have access to the program 100% free. Okay, so that's where the $5 million service grant comes in to cover year 4 and 5, and then give free access to everyone in the community.
Okay. So then I have, my second question was just around the cost year, because it is it's not only our district, but everybody in the city will have access. Did we ever talk to the city about even doing a cost year, and what was the outcome of that?
Yes, excuse me, we did, under Dr. Avila's direction, I communicated with the city director of public relations.
Mhm.
And we received a very good response, kind of in-kind support and contributions to the letter being issued. And I showed Dr. Avila, maybe board you can read that letter. It just arrived, so we could not send it to you earlier than today.
Okay.
It is very positive, and they're very excited to be a partner with the district.
And just to clarify as well, we intend to engage the city a little bit more in depth. We know that in other communities, sometimes cities or foundations pick up part of the tab. So far, the city has responded with support for the program, but no financial commitment at this point.
Okay, but they are aware that we're expecting, we would like to have more conversations around a financial resources to support it?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. That's my question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, moving on to number 2, approve the recommendations of the Administrative Hearing Panel, reinstatement case number 15-16-48. Do I have a motion to approve this?
So moved?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now we move on with adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
Second.
Second, yes.
All
Way
in
ahead of you.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Have a great evening. What's left of it.
Yes. 9:30.
We're going back there?
Yeah,
Okay.
we have some more business.